Hello, team. It is Sunday night, March 31st, and tonight we are kicking off our April Showers program because there's so many great things going on specifically for fashion directors that want to promote this month or at least get started on their promotion, that we just want to shower you with so many gifts. So that's why we decided, our group anyway, is calling it April Showers. And so what I'm going to be emphasizing on tonight's Zoom are going over what the promotions are for all the fashion directors to move to at least begin the recruiting process, I should say, and how to promote to the next level, what you get for doing so. And then I'm going to share with you my top tips that help you share the business at your shows, and just to kind of help you, my top tips for helping you be sharper, which helps you share the business. So that is the agenda for tonight's call. I want to welcome all of our first-time Zoomers. Some of you are so new that you may not have even been on a Lunch and Learn. And while we're on that topic, sometimes you may come to an evening call like this and not even realize that something has been happening without you all this time. So something to be aware of on your own calendars. Make sure that always on Tuesday nights you have on your calendar 8 p.m. Eastern, whatever time that is in your zone, 7 Central, I think 5 Pacific. Every Tuesday night is a welcome call. That is for you if you're brand new, or somehow you started and just never did that call. It's always appropriate to jump on and get that great review. It's great for relaunching, launching, or refreshing yourself. And the reason I do it every single Tuesday, when really we could send people a recording, right? It's recorded, it's out there, but that's not very welcoming. So the purpose of that call isn't just to provide the information, because that we could do in a recording. I like people to feel welcome, to see who the other new team members are, to meet me in real life as much as real life can be done over the computer. And that way you're able to share the business even when you're brand new, because you're not expected to share all of that information with your newest person. That is for me to do, for your recruiter, for your leader, all of the leadership that takes place in between me and you, whether you're direct to me. Somebody like Christy is my direct recruit, so I am the next person for her. But for some of you, there may be 2 leaders or even 3 leaders in between you and I. So you have plenty of support regardless of where in the organization that you fall. And then every Tuesday at noon Eastern, 11 Central, 9 Pacific is the Lunch and Learn. So the Lunch and Learn is a 30-minute, 30 to 40 minutes, we usually keep it to, and it's just a really concise training topic that's going to help you sharpen your business. It could be a booking topic, it can be sales, it can be a business opportunity, it can be any type of training that's going to just help you zone in on something to help you improve your business. Sometimes I teach it, sometimes I facilitate another leader doing it, but there are lots of great things to be learned each Tuesday. And what's so great about them is because they are focused in on a specific topic. You learn a lot on one thing instead of, a big training like when you go to convention and you learn a million things. Lunch and Learn is one focused thing generally for the whole call. These are always recorded and posted as YouTube links afterward for those of you that's an impossible time to be on for whatever you have going on Tuesdays, whether it's work or something else. And the third thing that I would point out to you, especially if you are wanting to take advantage of getting a promotion this month or continuing to build your team, is making sure that you are in the Check Us Out Life as a Park Lane Stylist group. Because that is something, even though all of you are already in the business, it's for you to be in, to always add people that are interested in the business. And it's a great place to corral all of our leads. Everybody that we'd like to be working with, everybody that wants a little more business information, hostesses that have shows upcoming or have hosted with you. That way they can scroll the page for testimonials for past lives that are in there when we did a business opportunity event. And this coming Wednesday night, Jennifer Bond, Sales Vice President in our overall organization, is doing a live this coming Wednesday night, which will be a great opportunity for people to, again, they can watch it live and ask questions as it's happening, or certainly they can watch the replay later. And these are just all resources that we have for you to make it easier for you to share the business without you constantly needing to have the answers to everything. Because when you're new, you may feel like you don't have a lot of answers, and that's okay. We don't need you to have answers. We need you to have enthusiasm. That is all it takes to be a great recruiter, is enthusiasm. The answers can come later. The information can come later. The ability to train people can come later. All we need for you to have up front is enthusiasm for your business, okay? So, what's happening for fashion directors this month? Park Lane is offering a $100 gift card when you enter a launch party of just a regular qualifying party, a minimum $300 show. So that means that you're going to be rewarded with a $100 gift card for beginning the process of building your team. Now, of course, they still need to get to 1,000 and qualify for you to actually get your promotion, but we want to help you get to that first stepping stone. Just start someone out, and then your leader, sometimes you guys put it in and we're like, wait, who is this? What's going on? Your leader can, continue on and help that qualification continue. But a qualifying show of a recruit under you earns you a $100 gift card. If it was a $300 show, your commission would have been $90. So actually, you are trading a $90 paycheck for a $100 gift card. So it kind of works out well, and now you're on your way to branch. So you may be wondering, what do I have to do to promote to branch leader? It's a 2-step process. So step number 1, this is the part that you're going to write things down. So step number 1 is you need to have a month in which you sold $1,000. And when I say a month, I mean a Park Lane month. So that first Thursday to the last Wednesday. So if you have done that any point in your Park Lane career, then you have achieved part 1. All right. This is why we really try to launch all of you at 1,000. Some of you may have had a leader come do your launch party and it was at 600, it was at 500, it was at 700. Your leader likely encouraged you to continue to collect orders and make sure that it was at 1,000 before we put it in. And the reason for that is, number 1, you're qualified right away. Number 2, if your show took place in the first 2 weeks of a month, you're already ready now to do your Rich Rewards order. And number 3, we know that's what you need in order to promote to branch. So we'll know that we have set you up for that step 1. So if you have already done that, you can check that off. Step 2 is you launch a recruit that sells $1,000 in their first 5 weeks. Now, of course, what do we want to do? We want to launch them at 1,000 typically, so that they are set the same way you're set and your promotion takes place immediately. Now, there is a third part. If some of you will have done your 1,000 and their 1,000 in the same month, but if the month that your recruit is qualifying is not the same month that you had to do your 1,000 or whatever, you have to be active in the month that your team member qualifies. So if you did 1,000 3 months ago, you do a show and she qualifies in right away, you have to put in 300 before that month ends in order to get your promotion. You can't have 0 sales and then promote in the same month. So just be aware that you need to be active with 300 net in whatever month it is that your recruit does her 1,000, completes her 1,000. It might be a one shot, it might be straddled over 2 months. But we hate when it's that way, so let's try not to do that. Okay, so then you promote to branch. Now, what does a branch director normally receive? You immediately move to 35% commission, which means that when you go out and do a show, you're not making 30%. If you do a $1,000 show, instead of making $300, you're making $350. If you do a $600 show, instead of making $180, you're making $210. It's a significant raise that you're going to notice as you continue to put shows in. Over the course of a month, it can really add up to another, several $100s, depending on how many shows you do in a given month. There's also a small graduated override that you can earn week to week on your recruit and their recruits' sales. That's kind of hard to figure out, so I don't really usually go through the numbers of that, because the best part of that raise really is the 5%. And once we get you to branch, we're going to put you on the fast track to area so that you can get the big jump where you go to 40% commission on your own, and then you get 10% of what your fashion directors sell. And if there's any branches on your team, you get 6% on them and their team. So that's, like I said, a really big raise. But we're going to mainly focus on fashion director to branch right now. So now that's what you would normally receive, and you'll receive, of course, here. There's an extra bonus this month that Mary Grace is actually offering. Of course, if you are so new that you don't know what I mean when I say who I'm talking about, Mary Grace Lewandowski is our upline leader, so she's the leader above me. I'm direct to Mary Grace. And she, if you've never seen or met her or heard of her, she's the #1 personal seller in the company. She's the #1 recruiter in the company. And we are part of her team, which is the #1 selling team in the company. So we are blessed to have the #1 leader in all of Park Lane. She is super generous. She's super funny. She does great trainings. And there's lots of things that she offers that we get to take part in, and one of them is this extra fun thing that she is doing. Everyone who promotes to branch this month, meaning that your recruit does their 1,000 by the final Wednesday in April, which is, I'm going to quick open my calendar. The final Wednesday in April is April 24th. So if you have a recruit do their 1,000 by April 24th, you are then going to be given the option of receiving a designer clutch or an impressions bracelet, whichever you prefer. So if you want more bling for your kit, you can choose that. If you're a designer handbag lover and you want to have a cute new designer clutch, then you can choose that, but you get the option. That is super fun. Normally, Mary Grace does do designer bags when you promote to area and above. So Ashley Davenport on our team is going to be receiving a bag from Mary Grace really soon. I am going to also be doing gifts for all branch promotions this month. We're actually going to set up, the leader team and I are going to set up a team goal and see how many we can do all together, because we're a big team and I think we can do a lot of branches this month and get so many of you a really great raise. So does anyone have a question to this point? Any of the qualifications or anything like that? You can either unmute yourself in the lower left corner, or you can type any question at any time using the chat feature as well, in case you can't talk but would like to ask a question. You can do that anytime. Okay, so no questions? All right, so then we're going to continue on to my top tips. By the way, I would like you to know that some of you are probably looking at all the participants here and saying, hey, there's a lot of people on here that are not fashion directors. You know why that is? These are leaders that want to help you promote. So our leadership team is a super smart team of men and women that know that if they are constantly sharpening their own skills, they can better help their team to promote as well. So I do want to give an awesome shout out to all of the leaders that are on this, and certainly to the ones that will watch it back later, because there are lots of leaders in this company that are not doing the job, and I can't say that about any of our leaders. So I'm very proud of our leadership team. So what are some things that you can do in order to better share a business opportunity? Because one of the things that you have to really have in your heart beforehand is you have to believe that this really is an amazing business opportunity. So if you're struggling with that, then you really can't be a successful recruiter, because then you're really just kind of out there for yourself. It's like, if I get someone, then I get a raise. And when you think about recruiting in that way, it just really doesn't happen. It's really all about who do I know that I can give this amazing opportunity to? Who do I know that would enjoy the benefits of a Park Lane business the way I am? So, for example, would anyone care to unmute themselves and share why did you start your Park Lane business? You may have a specific reason, an ultimate goal in life you're trying to achieve, a dollar amount that's going to help you with something. Would anyone like to throw out there why they started?
I started in Park Lane because I fell in love with the jewelry. I was a stay-at-home mom, and I still am, but I do my Park Lane also. But the jewelry is what turned me on to it, and that's the main reason I'm doing it. It's because the jewelry, I love it.
Awesome. And what types of things would you say that the income it's brought your family, like, is there something specific you use it for? Is there an overall thing? What is it that your income helps your family with?
It supports my hobby of shopping for things I don't need.
Well, you know what? But you know what? Here's the thing. Lots of people have that hobby. And then you know what it turns into? Big fat credit card debt, which turns into big fights with your husband, which turns into divorce. You know, like, money struggles is the number one reason people get divorced in this country. So if you can have your own money, that's something that a lot of stay-at-home moms struggle with, because stay-at-home moms at one point had a job and had their own income that they got to decide where the money went. So when you don't have that anymore, it can be like demoralizing and disappointing and whatever. So now Summer has her own money. She can buy stuff she wants and not have to hear Eric giving her a rough time. So, and by the way, her husband is lovely. He comes to all the conventions. I'm not bashing Eric even in the slightest. I've just said his name because we know him. So shout out to Eric and Summer. Very awesome. Okay, thanks for sharing, Summer. Does anyone else want to share? You can, Christy. I feel like you're looking like maybe should I or shouldn't I? Oh, she can't talk. She's sick. I will tell you why Christy sells Park Lane. Christy has a dream of opening her own yoga studio. She is a yoga instructor, and she works for a very popular yoga studio chain here on Long Island. And she and her friends really want to have their own studio. And the best news of all is that she just messaged me last night, and we're arranging it today, that same friend decided she's also going to start Park Lane. So now we're arranging for her friend Elise's launch, and the two of them, so now that we'll get Christy promoted, so she'll get to move to Branch, and she and Elise can move closer towards their goal of opening this yoga studio, because she wants to be fully self-employed. So love that. I'd love to hear from one more person if anyone cares to share.
I'll go if nobody else wants to.
Go ahead, Jen.
For me, when I started, had the desire to quit my full-time job and be able to stay at home more flexibly with my kiddos. And I've definitely been able to lighten the load with my full-time job over the last 2 years as we use the money to, we just paid off my student loans in December. And so that was a huge relief to get that out of the way and be able to put more money towards other things that, we want to do as we continue to save and push forward towards our life goals of all sorts of different things. And definitely driving a Mercedes is in our future as well as we work towards that. So that's been our goal.
Love it. Love it. Thank you so much, Jen. Is paying off a student loan not like a spectacular thing to hear? I'm sure that lots of you have student loans or have a child with student loans, or at one time you had a lot of student loans, and that's, it can be as much as a mortgage. So to eliminate such a big payment off your plate really is tremendous. I'm super proud of you for that. And I'm glad Jen just mentioned the Mercedes, because Park Lane is super unique in so many ways, but one of the biggest ways is that Park Lane allows the very first leadership level to be part of the Mercedes car plan. So when you promote to branch, now we can put you on track. We can print you out a Mercedes tracker, and we can put you on track to earn a paid for Park Lane Mercedes. If you choose to get a Mercedes, the payment is $700 a month. If you choose to not get a Mercedes, then the payment they will give you is $500 a month. Either way, it's a bonus that shows up on your paycheck each month that you meet the maintenance requirements. So that is something that we can absolutely go over with you and get you on track to earn, because that's a lot of money. And if you choose to take the money, it's a lot of money. If you choose to drive the Mercedes, you can drive the Mercedes and drive one that doesn't cost as much as $700, so that you have extras for your insurance or whatever. And it's a really great program. So super excited about that also. Another thing that you should be aware of as it relates to promoting is that Park Lane is also the only company that I'm aware of that once you earn a title, they never take that away. So if any of you have ever been involved in another direct sales company, then here's what I know. When your team, life could happen to somebody. You can have people quit. You can have people just not work that month or whatever. And then all of a sudden you no longer have that structure or that whatever it took to get you there. And then when that happens, you lose your title and every perk that goes along with it, and your self-esteem right along with it. And that is something that I experienced in my previous company. And here's the thing, like you can't control other people. So when people move on to other things in life and you haven't yet developed the next leader or whatever it took to get there, to get demoted, and then whatever perks and training calls, whatever you were entitled to at that level, to be cut off from that, and then get knocked down to the next thing, knocked down to the next thing. My previous company had something called paid as performance. So you got paid by whatever level your team qualified for at the end of a month. Do you know how demoralizing that was? Because guess what? I performed as an amazing leader every single month, whether my team sold 100,000, 80,000, or 60,000, or $1 million, or whatever it was. I did the same trainings. I was in there. I was doing my job. So to be told I performed as a lower title, it was like you wanted to say bad words and extend wrong fingers at the computer screen when it would tell you that. So we never have that here at Park Lane. So I want you to be confident in knowing that the day that you promote to branch, you're a branch forever. And the only direction that you can go is up. So the only time you're not a branch anymore is when you promote to area. And then the next time you're not an area anymore is when you promote to division. And so it goes. So what are some of the things that you can do in order to be able to share the business opportunity more successfully? Number one is that you need to know the programs that we have so that you have enough shows. So the best thing that you can do for yourself is to really know our hostess plan and be able to explain it really well. So one of the things that I do at my shows is I give every guest this little clipboard. Do you see how the clipboard is the same size as the wish list? That's how small and cute these are. So I want to say these are like $1.50 each. I got them in Walmart. They had them in Office Max or something too, but they were like 3 times as expensive, so don't get them there. So I use these at all my parties because it allows me to provide, I'm going to go over each thing that's on here for the guests. It's also nice when you do a show that you're at a table and then the guests are on couches and folding chairs and stuff. They need to be able to lean on something. When you just give them the wish list, it's frustrating to write on. So I give every guest one of these and a pen so that And what's on top is the wish list, because all I want them to see right now and focus on right now is write down everything that they like. That's all I need them to do. I don't need them to worry about because of course the opposite side of the wish list is where they write their name, address, email, phone, but it's also where they should decide answers to questions like, I would like to schedule a style appointment. I would like to learn more about a business with Park Lane. If you put this side face up in the beginning, they're going to fill out their name, their address, their phone number instead of browsing the jewelry. Then they're going to go ahead and mark down nope to every question so that they're done. How can they possibly know the answer to these questions when they haven't yet had the opportunity to fall in love with me, when they haven't had the opportunity to fall in love with the jewelry yet? I don't want them answering anything. I want them to write down things that they love. So that's the only part that they see facing up to them when we start. Okay? So people who build big wish lists tend to book a show, right? So that's why we want them constantly building a wish list. So when I do my show, the structure that I do is after I, say what Park Lane is, and you can see us on Dancing with the Stars and This Is Us and all of this, I explain the sale. So I pass around examples of things that are the low items. I pass around, then I give a couple of bracelet examples for half price. And then I say, that's why, ladies, you have a pen and a wish list now. So that every time you see something that you like, you're going to jot it down on the list, because this is not your order form. This is only the scrap paper that we use to figure out what goes onto your order form. So it is much better to have too long of a list than not enough, because you're not going to believe how many things I'm going to be able to get for you once we work the magic of the sale. So having said that, is there something that already got passed to you that you now said, shoot, I should have wrote that down? And then they do, they laugh and they go, yeah, what were those swirly earrings again? Okay, those are the Whisper. Okay, what was that other one with the danglies? That's Moana. So we just kind of backtrack through a couple of things and then we continue on. So now they understand the importance, because I tell them, listen, another mimosa or two from now, you don't know what you want. So you got to write it down when you see it. So that always gets a chuckle. They write things down. And then you have to incorporate into your show saying the words, write this down. So when you show them a bracelet, you know how you show something and the whole room goes like, oh, yeah, that's nice. Write it down, Frenchie bracelet. And then say it again. Okay, you got that one? Write it down, Frenchie bracelet. And then they'll write it down. So when you say the words, write it down, you're going to see two people write something down every single time you say it. So that is tip number one. You need people writing long wish lists, okay? Because once they come up to you at the end, then you're able to have something really substantial to work with. And you also, it goes smoother when they have a lot, because you'll have two low items there. You'll have a whole bunch of middle. They'll have something high end, and you can kind of zip through fast, and maybe they will buy everything. But you're going to be able to have a lot of ammunition to then say, oh my gosh, Jackie, you have a big list here. Please tell me I'm coming to party with you next, because even with a sale, I'm not sure what your budget is tonight, but I would love to get you more of this for free and discounted the way we are for Jennifer today. What are your thoughts? So when the bigger the list, the better. Yeah, that's the answer I like, Jackie. That the better you're able to do that. Okay, so when I get to the end of the show is where I typically go over the hostess plan. Now, this is the brochure that's the bottom in the clipboard. So every single guest has a 5-star brochure that they can refer to. Now, some of them will, like my guest today, sometimes 2 seconds in, they're rifling through this whole thing. They think that's the catalog. No problem. I certainly don't stop anyone from looking at it. I just don't bring it to their attention until later. But I certainly am 100% in favor of them looking at it early. So when it comes time to talk about the hosting opportunity, that's when I say, okay, if everybody could just take out the bottom brochure on your clipboard, I want to go over for Carmela here what she's getting today, but I also want you to all know, because it's something you may want to consider for yourself as well. Go ahead and open this up all the way. So this is what makes it impressive. So you want every guest opening this bad boy accordion up, because this is now probably a spreadsheet of what people are wearing right now in the show, right? Because when you put jewelry on people during the party, what you're putting on them are these pieces. And if you're not currently doing that, you're going to start at your next party, right? When people are going to model jewelry right during the show, we're not putting a vibes bracelet on them in the beginning. Oh no, they'll find that later when we talk about what you get for half price. We want people falling in love with thank you pieces, because then we can use that as a booking tool. So when I look around the room, I have somebody wearing an echo necklace. I have someone wearing a flash. I have someone wearing a unicorn. And I'm able to say, these are many of the pieces that you're already wearing and falling in love with. And we can get you one of these for $22, which means you've saved $100 before we even shop with any of your free credit. Now, with any luck, your past hostess is still in the room, is in the room, right? Because what you get to say too is, now Christy, as a reminder, you're the past hostess for this, you get to pick another one of these today. Because when you have a show and then your friends book, you get to pick another one of these at every one of those shows. So my hostess, Allison, was at a show last week. I said, Allison is picking her third thing from here already, because 3 of her girlfriends booked shows. So she saved an additional over $300 in getting more of these pieces for $22 after the one she already picked at her show. So actually she's already saved over $400 just in these pieces. We didn't even factoring in her credit. So now she starts, no matter what, they forget. So even she, who did it 3 times, was like, oh, that's right. Okay, so today, wait, I did save one of these. I'm going to get the flash today. Now they're all leaning over. Wait, which one did you get already? Oh, I got this one at this one's house. Like, it's creating a flurry. Okay, that's what we want. Then you're going to explain that after we pick that out for you, now you get to shop with free credit. So you get $20 for every order that is placed. So if 5 of your friends place an order, you get $100 in free shopping. The magic is that Park Lane will offer you double free credit. And the way you can get that is when 10 of your friends place an order. Does that mean that 10 people have to be at your show? Absolutely not. You might have 5 or 6 friends there, and then 2 girls from the office order beforehand, your mother-in-law in Boca orders, and your roommate from college in Connecticut throws on an order. Bam, there's your 10. Double free credit. That is $400 in shopping for you, whether they buy 1 pair of earrings or a $300 order. How amazing is that? And they do get like, wow. Now, this is where you can also mention how they can use their Fast 50s, right? Because Park Lane gives us the opportunity to offer up 2 $50 certificates to anyone who has a show. Now, here's the thing. There's a $10 fee for using each one. So that's when you're entering your show, it'll say allowances, $10 for 50, $20 for 100. That's so that we can incentivize our hostesses in any number of ways to do things that we want them to do, right? So let's say your friend books a show with you on the phone today. That gives you carte blanche to decide what she needs to do to earn this extra 100. So you can let her know, hey, Denise, when you collect 3 orders before the party even happens, you can redeem this $50 gift card at your show. Now, how you want to handle the $10 is up to you. You can tell her you can redeem this $50 gift card for $10 and add $50 in credit to your shopping spree. Or you can choose to absorb that $10, okay? You can say, and I sometimes will put Post-it notes on the actual little Fast 50s, but you can just write it down if you don't have the actual little props. You order them on supplies. They're like a bajillion for $1. But you can say, when one person who's not coming to the party books their own show, you can redeem this for another $50 at your show. You can say when 10 women are sitting in the couches that day, you can redeem this $50. So you decide. It's not something that after the fact you're saying, oh, hey, you can add another $100 to your shopping spree. That did not help you build your business. You want to you make them have to do something. So a lot of times I do offer the $100 in shopping. I'll just let them know. And if you're going to be booking from Summer today, because you're helping her get some extras, I like to give you an extra $100 as well. And that's if you're booking anytime in, I'll say April or May. So you can put a time stamp on it. What I did for a while too was I said I have a bunch of hot dates here. So if you want to redeem some certificates, some gift cards on your show, come on up and pick the one that is the date that you want. And I would put $50 on Fridays and Saturdays, and I would put $100 on Monday through Thursdays. So that way people would be more apt, because I was trying to book more weeknights. So whatever works for your schedule, whatever it is that you want to do, you can choose to handle that way. And then I just continue on. And then I'll say, when you run out of free credit, you use your thank you reward. There's still a couple things you want. You get those at half price. You also get to shop the hostess only jewelry. And now I unroll the hostess only jewelry. And I pass it around and say, now these are exclusive pieces. So if you choose to try these on and everything, just be aware, Carmela's shopping these today, but you're going to shop these at your show. And I make them fall in love with those pieces. Without explaining at least some version of that, people are less likely to book a show because they're not really 100% sure what's in it for them. Now, of course, the number one reason why people book a show is that they had fun. So it's more important that you are having a good time with them, letting them try it on, letting them chit chat and laugh and stuff during the show, because no one came for the Park Lane lecture series, right? No one wants to be shushed. No one wants to be lectured at. If you have a rowdy crowd, you got to work with it. If you have a, the old quiet ladies or whatever, then work with that. But you want to have fun in the way that they have deemed to be fun. And if drunk and loud is how they are, as rough as that is, shushing them is not going to make them have fun. And it's definitely not going to get you a booking. So you make the show shorter, you do a quick explanation, and then, you take it from there. Be what they are is my favorite phrase in direct sales. So when I'm in a place where people are loud and very New York and whatever, then I bust out my accent worse. I say phrases like, not for nothing, why would you not have people over? I mean, it's crazy, Whereas, when I'm with the hotsy totsies, I would never say not for nothing, okay? So whatever kind of group and you're with, that's what you're going to do. Okay, so a great brochure that you can also have in your little clipboard is this new one, which is called Style Your Success. Last I checked, it was still called Business Opportunity Brochure in the supply order form. So in the supply section, you will find this fantastic brochure. And what it is it's a little overview of why someone might want to try Park Lane. So it talks about the kit options. It talks about, when you do a $400 show, that's $120 for you. $600 is $180. So it gives you a little overview on that. It gives an example of the sale on the back and has a teaser about our Mercedes car plan. What I would actually challenge you to do is place a supply order where you get these and hand out your receipts in this, using this as like an envelope for them. Because at your show, at some point, you are explaining a bit about the business, and they may not think it's for them, but A, it could be for somebody else. B, they could decide it's for them later. And it's great for them to have something that they can refer back to. So stamp it with your info or use labels, and use this as an envelope of sorts to give out the receipt after the transaction has taken place. Now, I said how at some point you talked about the business, right? Is that actually true? Because there definitely needs to be some point during your show that you even, it doesn't take a lot. While you're new and just starting out, there needs to be a part where you tell your story. Now, not your whole story, not your life story, a brief, like real brief thing, 5 sentences about why you tried Park Lane. Okay, so it's just simple questions. Why did you get started? What kind of obstacle did you have to overcome in order to join? What are you enjoying so far? And what are you looking forward to? That is all it takes to tell your story. So that can sound something as simple as, I started this business in order to, my daughter really wanted to take dance classes. They're super expensive. So I just wanted to make $500 a month so she could be on this competitive dance team. I was a little nervous because I've never really talked in front of people before, but my friend who helped me get started assured me that I could just sit at the table and let everybody try the jewelry on, and that it didn't actually involve as much talking as I might think. So I gave it a try. So far, I've earned a ton of free jewelry. My daughter is now taking her dance lessons, and she's really enjoying being on the competition team. And I'm looking forward to just continuing to build and my next promotion with Park Lane. See how simple that is? Because you're not going on and on. No one cares. Just a brief overview. And the reason why you're saying those particular things is that they do want to know why you got started. You're sharing the challenge that you had because it applies to someone else in the room. There's somebody sitting there that's thinking, I could never speak in front of people. There's someone sitting there thinking, I don't have the same bubbly personality as her, maybe. Or just something about them, so depending on your humor, my God, Mary Chirilla is the funniest at this. She's like, I know what you're thinking. I could never be as pretty as Mary. I could never be as smart as Mary. I could never put the jewelry together as beautifully as Mary. But you know what? You can. I'm going to teach you. And, it's funny because Mary is a, completely regular looking woman. So that's why it makes it extra funny, because it's not like, it's Camel Price out there that looks like a supermodel saying that, where it's going to be like, oh my God, she's so full of herself. Like, it's funny the way she does it. So, she actually says that she's so pretty. She's so funny. It's really cute the way she does it. But you're doing just a little overview about why you joined, because it helps someone else who has those same thoughts and objections. You can ask for referrals. That's the other flyer that's in here. Refer a friend. So you can say, and you know what, if you just heard all this information and you're like, you know what, that's not for me, but you know who it is? I think my cousin Susan would love this. Write down cousin Susan's information. I'm happy to give her a call. If she decides to join my team, I am happy to reward you with some jewelry. Because wouldn't you be happy to give some jewelry to somebody who sends you a recruit? I sure will. So that's what the referrals are for. Now, who is your best potential recruit?
Your host.
That is correct. Exactly. Your hostess is your number one potential recruit. And of course that makes sense, right? She loves jewelry. She kind of buys into the whole gig, right? Like she has you over, she invited her friends over, so she gets what direct sales is. Come on over, get free stuff, friends have fun, and someone makes money. So that's really the best person to share the business opportunity with, your upcoming hostesses and your current, the hostess whose show is open right now. Now, you may have shared the business opportunity with her already, your upcoming hostess, and she told you no. That no is in no way the real answer yet. Because here's the thing, you probably told her when you booked the show, and it's great that if you said this, if you said to her, and you know, with your show, you're entitled to also take advantage of starting a Park Lane business. You can keep the paycheck, you can get the bookings. Anyone who wants to join, I'd put on your team. So that's something to keep in mind when we have your show. That's what you say to your hostess when you book the party, right? And if you don't, again, you're going to start saying that ASAP. However, most of your hostesses say on that day, oh, okay, thanks. I don't think that'll be the case, but, you know, I'm just going to get my freebies. And you say, oh yeah, no problem. I just like to put it in here so that you know what you're entitled to. Because you know what she said in her head? I don't know what the sales are even going to be. And my friends don't book parties, so I don't know about that. Like, she's thinking that none of those things are going to exist. And that's why she's saying no. But then what happens? You do the show, and there are bookings, and there are sales, and there is a paycheck. So at that point, it becomes our job to show them how to, what the actual benefits are on this real life show that just took place and is sitting here in front of her. So, has everyone seen this form? The hostess order form. This comes, if you just got your kit, these are in your hostess packets. If you purchase thank you, Summer. If you purchase pre-assembled hostess packets from the company in the 3 for $5 form, they are in there. If you prefer to assemble your own hostess packets, which is cheaper, then, you know, you buy the envelope separate, each thing that goes in there separate, then you just need to order hostess order form. Now, here's how you properly use a hostess order form. This is the whole hostess plan in, doing it manually form. So the thank you award, the credit, the half price items, the hostess exclusives, anything else they may want to take. And then this is, the way to manually do it. Now, if you're saying, oh my God, are you serious? That's like a lot of math at the end of the night. There's a lot of benefit to doing at least a sketched out overview on this. First of all, when you do your order with your hostess, her order with your hostess at the end of the night, right at the party, she chooses more. Because remember, just like regular guests, all she did was write down L, we, lifestyle. Now, 2 days later, after her party, when she's finalizing her list, she doesn't remember what any of those things are. She doesn't remember if lifestyle was a ring, a necklace, a bracelet. What she does know, though, is that she lived this long without it and probably could still continue to live without it. And if, she'll start crossing things off. You want her to pick out her hostess benefits while everything is still glittering in front of her. She sees what each thing is, and she will maximize all the parts of her hostess plan. So when she has a nice big list, I'll say, okay, so do you want me to start plugging this into your hostess benefits and see see what a great deal I can get you? And they usually say yes. Now, if I do this with a host who currently has 8 orders, I'll say, now you're going to get the other 2 orders, right? Because at 8, you're going to get $260 in credit. If you get 2 more orders, you're jumping to $500. Oh no, I'll definitely get somebody. Are you kidding me? So we will we will work out her order based on the assumption of getting that many orders. Okay? So I write down what's good for her. Thank you. Do this whole thing. I take her credit card information at the bottom of the screen, at the bottom of the page. That way, when it's time to close, even if we just have to text back and forth quick, we're done. Mm-hmm. She doesn't have to feel weird about texting her credit card or, it's just much more well set. I tell her, I'm not finalizing any of this. I'm just going to get it into the computer. You can change your mind. You can switch things out. This is just so that we're mostly set. This will help you close your shows on time. Okay? So I'll let her know if, assuming we do the order like this, you'll have saved this. Always add up the real value of everything first. Tell her what it would have cost, then tell her her total, because we want her to be super happy. And then Jen, what do we say when we tell her that her actual total is? What's the next sentence?
Isn't this amazing?
Right. Because here's the thing. Some of your hostesses will spend like $300. They had a show. I've had hostesses spend anywhere from $200 to $500. Okay. Not all of them, but some of them do. And they have a show thinking they're getting everything free. Somehow they're spending $300. We do not want them having a stroke in their dining room chair. So we want to tell them, oh my gosh, Summer, this is so exciting. You just picked out $1,200 worth of jewelry and your total is $280.72. Isn't that amazing? And then they go, oh my gosh, that is amazing. Now, right. So sometimes they're totally happy with that. Other times they're like, that is amazing, but oh my God, no, I have to cross something out. And that's fine. That's why we do this. But here's what we then do. This is the critical part to you building your team. The back of this says host versus director. So on the left side of the page, it says, as a host, you are receiving, and it just recaps what you just told her on the front. As a director, you are receiving, and then there's a spot about, one thank you award and a paycheck, second thank you award and a paycheck. And then there's a space to write the paycheck. So what you do is you quick add up the sales of the party, and then you times 30%, and you write it down and you say, I just want to, Jen, I just want to, let you know as well that should you decide that you want, you are entitled to use this show to start your business. So if you decide that you do want to join my team, which I would absolutely love, not only are you going to get everything I just told you, but you can then pick out another $1,000 worth of jewelry to put into your kit. The kit is $229, but what you have sitting here is a paycheck for $360 or for $295. So in actuality, your kit is free, and we can pick another $1,000 worth of jewelry. They normally will make you repeat that, and they're like, wait, what? And then you'll say, you're entitled to the paycheck today. The paycheck from this party right now, as is, before we even add it on your other orders you're still getting, is $280. That paycheck will come the week after we put the party in. You can get a kit for $229 and pick out another $1,000 worth of jewelry. You'll have all the catalogs and everything you need to do Susan's party, Fran's party, and Megan's party. I will be there to help support you through at least the first two, if you want, since they're already on my calendar anyway. And you can try out the business. What do you think? Is that something that you all are doing with your hostesses now? I see leaders nodding, and then I see not so much with the rest of the heads, and that's fine, but you guess that's the pattern, right, everybody? I put the screen back on share so you could see everybody. Leaders didn't do this at one point too. It was a skill they learned. Now they do it, and that's why their team continues to grow. So that's a skill that you're just going to work on. So there's a couple of things, I know we're at an hour here, so I do want to give you your action steps, and then I will open it up for additional questions. Number one action step that I would like you to take is to make sure your leader knows that you are on this live, or if you're watching this later, make sure that your leader knows that you were on, that you watched the replay. And there's a couple of things that I just want to make sure that you work on with your leader the following. How to tell your story. So what those questions are, write it up, verbally practice it with your leader so that she can help you with making sure it's not too long, it's generic enough. Because we don't want to be so specific that your story doesn't apply to anyone on earth but you, so because I mean, we're keeping it honest. We're not going to make a different story out of it. We just want to make sure that it applies to others as well. So that's one thing I want to make sure that you do to sharpen your skills. Number 2 is I want you to, with your leader on the phone, verbally explain our hostess plan. We want to hear the way that you say it at your show, because you may think you have a handle on it, but if it takes you too long, or you're doing too many details or putting too much math in there, so some people are like, and then you get this for, you know, half price. So that means that if you still wanted a blah, blah, blah. No, too many words, gets too long. So let us hear how you're doing that. And then number 3, we're going to practice this part of it. Okay, so look at the stats of a recent hostess, fill it in, and then have the conversation with your leader as though she was your hostess, so that we can work on that. Because we want to hear phrases like, I want to let you know that you're entitled to. Did you know that you're entitled to start your business? Did you know that you can receive tonight's paycheck of X amount? I want to make sure that you just know how to do all of that, what the phrases are, so that your next show, you can do this. Any current open show you have, you can do this. Does that sound good? All right. So, are there any final questions that you would like to ask at this time? Or an aha moment. You can ask a question, or you can share something that you were excited to learn tonight.
Michelle, really quick while people are thinking, just a reminder too, if you don't have those hostess order forms, but you want to use them right now, they are in the downloads. So you can always go and print them. So that's not an excuse.
Everything I showed you actually is in the downloads. You can get the business opportunity brochure, all of it. Thank you for that reminder, Jen.
Also, I like using the tic-tac-toe game that's in downloads. It really pumps up hostesses to want to complete it so that they can earn, you know, 1, 2, or blackout per se. But I always put that in my hostess packets, and it works well.
You know, every time I get away from using that, I say, why don't I use that anymore? Summer, can you tell everyone what some of the squares say so they would know what the benefit is? You know, remember?
I'm going to pull one out because, oh, look, it's right here. So here it is. And this one says schedule a sip and stall or show someone that's not attending. So if their coworker can't make it, you know, make a one-on-one appointment with them. Who do you know that would be great for Park Lane? Write their name here. That's just for thinking of someone. Call or text your guests before your show, reminding them to bring a friend. Simple things. But it helps to get the party going. It helps for higher sales, more people there to book more parties, etc. Make a wish list of $500 before your party. The middle one is holding your original showing date. So when they book the party, you put that date right here. They change. They're not getting a full screen here. 3 or more outside orders. 8 adult guests in attendance. Kids don't count. Ask to talk about the options A and B, which that's the back of the hostess order form.
Right. This is A and B. Right.
And then 800 in net sales for the show. And like for mine, if they do 1 row, I give them 1 Fast 50. If they do 2 tic-tac-toes, I give them 2 Fast 50s. And if they do the whole thing, I give them the free tax on their hostess order. Because if they complete this, giving them free tax is nothing.
That is really great. Awesome. Thank you for going over that, Summer. That's in the download section, as Summer was saying. When you go onto the field interface, there's a section called downloads. Sure. you can print that out. Just leaves lights on all over the house, but then turns the light off in the room I'm sitting in. And I mean, wouldn't we all love our hostesses to take all of those actions before the party? That's amazing. So that is a great fun thing to put in your hostess packet. I'm glad she reminded us of that.
You know what else? That tic-tac-toe game gives you an opportunity to really stay in touch with your hostess.
Yep.
So the reason to call more often when she's doing that. call her almost every day and ask her how she's doing with one or the other of those. So that's a good way to stay in touch.
Yeah, it's true, because a great little check-in once a week is, so how's your tic-tac-toe coming along? What squares do you have so far? You know, things like that. That's true. And then the first time they're going to say, what tic-tac-toe? You say, oh my gosh, look in your envelope I gave you.
Oh, I forgot all about that.
Right? Any other questions, aha moments? What's the thing you're most excited to move towards? Or try first?
Come on, Jackie. What are you thinking? I see those wheels turning.
You know me too well. Yes, I'm thinking about following this plan so I can get my locomotive going. Not just train, the locomotive.
Love it. Love it. All right, everybody. Now, would you find it helpful if we did like a mid-month Zoom at this same time? So we can kind of check in and follow up on things that you tried so far? Because if so, that would be April 14th. That's the evening. That's Palm Sunday, but it would be at night. So would you guys like to do a mid-month support call, check in, see what's happening? I'm getting nods and a yes in the chat. So, and of course, if the time doesn't work for you, you can always watch the playback. So that's fine. We'll do that. So put that on your calendar. I'll post new Zoom info and create a new event so that everybody has what they need. And by all means, please do the 3 things that I asked you to do with your recruiter or leader, whoever normally does your support through your business, so that we can really get your skills sharpened and you can move forward with getting a gift card, a designer clutch or an impressions, and most importantly, a raise, a new title, and get you moving towards all of the great leadership things that Park Lane offers. So thank you, Christine. I'm glad this was helpful to you. All right, feel free to make comments. When I post the recording, please feel to comment. Please comment with what your favorite part of today was, because anybody who missed it, we want them to realize they missed something amazing and that they should watch the playback. So have a great night, everybody. Love working with you all, and I'm so excited to shower everybody with everything that Park Lane is offering. Have a great rest of the night. Bye.
Bye.